In the long river of Korea's traditional culture, the emotions between same-sex individuals flow like a faint light that cuts through layers of historical mist, quietly passing through time. Though these feelings have only begun to be openly discussed in modern society, they had already quietly sprouted and blossomed thousands of years ago. This is a tender chapter that history has lightly concealed, but never truly erased. During the Three Kingdoms period 1st century, 7th century, the Silla kingdom established the Hwarang system. The Hwarang were elite youths from noble families, wearing magnificent attire, practicing martial arts and moral cultivation with a mission to protect the country. Through their shared cultivation and battles, the Hwarang formed deep and pure bonds that went beyond blood relations. The Samguk Sagi records many stories of the Hwarang who fought and lived together, and many scholars believe that these intimate relationships likely surpassed mere friendship, carrying ambiguous, even romantic undertones. Two walk side by side, their hearts aligned as one. Samguk Sagi. Representatives. Kim Yu-shin, a general of Silla, who, as a youth, was a Hwarang and formed deep friendships with many companions. His oaths of life and death contributed to his future legendary heroism. Wes and Chunjil, two Hwarang recorded in the Samguk Yusu, who protected each other on the battlefield until death, symbolizing a deep affection that transcended blood relations. In an era where gender boundaries were not sharply defined, emotions flowed freely and naturally. The Hwarang wove their own tender poetic chapters in the process of martial arts practice, poetry, and travel. In the Goryeo dynasty, 9181-392, Buddhism flourished, and the social views on emotions and the body were more tolerant than in later periods. Same-sex relationships quietly circulated in the royal palace and monasteries, though there were no official records declaring homosexuality as legal. However, many stories and legends reveal a hidden tenderness. Representatives. King Munjong, the 10th king of Goryeo, who, according to Goryeo-sa, deeply favored a handsome monk, especially one named Wan Shin, with whom he had a special bond, frequently visiting him personally, King Chungnil. It was recorded that King Chungnil had a particular preference for handsome young men, and his palace often had beautiful young attendants from Goryeo and Yuan. In this period, love between same-sex individuals did not need to be overly concealed. Within the Buddhist belief of spiritual harmony and the cycle of reincarnation, same-sex love was sometimes viewed as a transcendent form of affection. The Joseon dynasty 1392 to 1897 was centered around Confucian ideals which strictly regulated gender roles and behavioral ethics. Same-sex love was seen as unnatural and disappeared from public view, shifting instead to more subtle and delicate forms. Representatives. King Yeonsan Gun, the 10th king of Joseon, infamous for his indulgence, who kept many handsome young men at court for entertainment. Records suggest he had a special affection for beautiful boys. Lee Bong-soo and Kim Si-sup, two scholars who used poetry to subtly convey emotions. Their interactions were interpreted by later generations as a deep spiritual bond. Hong Myong-hee, a late Joseon poet whose works often included delicate descriptions of male friends with an unmistakable tenderness. In this harsh social atmosphere, a poem conveying unspoken love, a quietly exchanged gift, or a silent gaze could carry the weight of 1,000 words. In modern times, following the influence of Western democratic ideals and liberalism, Korean society began to reassess the diverse expressions of gender and love. In the 1990s, The LGBTQ movement started to emerge, and from the 2000s onwards, Korean film and television began to feature openly depicted same-sex relationships in works such as The King and the Clown, A Frozen Flower, and Where Your Eyes Linger, allowing more people to witness this love that had been flowing through bloodlines for thousands of years. Representatives. Hong Nan-pa, a musician from the early 20th century, who is said to have had a deep emotional connection with his close friend that surpassed ordinary friendship, Kim Chun-soo, a modern poet whose works frequently use loneliness and the male body as metaphors, intricately depicting emotions that are hard to express. Although many still face skepticism and pressure from conservative forces, an increasing number of young Koreans are courageously pursuing their true selves, allowing the tenderness once buried by time to bloom once again in the sunlight. The same-sex affection in Korean history is neither heresy nor a mistake, but a natural and sincere part of the human emotional spectrum. From the sword-fighting Hwarang to the whispered secrets of kings, from the poetic exchanges of scholars to the brave youths of today, this deep-rooted tenderness, long buried for 1,000 years, is now finally ready to be celebrated openly.